and here's the lesson. We're going to be doing the 2 different wheats that are listed here, and I'm actually not that familiar with them because we haven't done the content for this lesson yet. So I'm going to need to do a little research this morning and also review the main lesson book. So it's actually kind of good that we didn't do this lesson yesterday because, well, it would have been fine. We could have started out with the artwork and then come back and done the lesson. And we may still do that today, but at least I know that there's a little bit of research that I still need to do. With the tallest grasses in the world.
I don't know.
Starts with a B.
Oh, yeah.
China.
What?
Pandas.
Bamboo?
Bamboo. Now it's been 2 days since we last did this assignment. Everything has been left out exactly the way that it was when we did this assignment last. In these last 2 days, actually primarily one day, we did some research and we did the content of this lesson. So we originally started by drawing, or we intended to watercolor both of these wheats, and then there's some information down here about it, but not much, and there's not much over here. So I pulled out my ABCs of Nature book, and we read the section on grasses and grains together, and it provided enough information for us, but I did go online and look up emmer wheat, which is the one that we did, and we learned that this one is like Acorn wheat, and this is the wild, basically like a wild or maybe non-genetically modified wheat, I guess is the way you could look at it. And the main difference that we found about this is that this wheat, these little pods here, the seed pods, they shatter and fall to the ground, making it more difficult to harvest, because as you harvest, a lot of the wheat falls to the ground, which is good from an evolutionary point of view because that allows the wheat to actually to reseed itself and to grow. But not so great when you're trying to cultivate and harvest this for human use and for livestock. And so the newer wheat is more tightly held together like this, so that they stay together when you are harvesting it. Now, of all of the different grasses and grains, the one where the seeds stay together the most is corn, where it's really tightly packed and then it's within a husk. So it's interesting to see the difference between this kind of plant where it's almost like a grass, like a weed. Well, it is a grass, but like a weed where the seeds are very easy to reseed and to spread, versus the corn where it's very tightly packed. So that was the content for the lesson. My son still needs to do some writing. I would prefer that he did some writing for this, but we are at this point going to flip our pages over, and we are going to draw the other wheat off to the side so that there's a huge section here where my son can write the content for this lesson, which will also include the content for, you know, corn. Corn is part of the grasses. So, and then we're going to finish this lesson off with some cooking. We're basically going to do something with corn and wheat and rice, either all in one day or on separate days, with the intention that this is the end of the lesson, you know, part of the lesson. Okay, so at this point, there's some water in here. At this point, I'm going to ask you to go and rinse these out, please, and get new water. And we are going to, you know, the thing is that the Botanicum book shows the wheat as green, and this book shows the wheat as like a yellow-brown. And I kind of feel like doing the green just because it's so beautiful. And it looks like it's maybe the unripened wheat. That's what I'm thinking, not sure. Again, our paints have dried up a little bit, so I'm going to rehydrate them with a little bit of water, and then we'll get started. I think we'll start, I kind of feel like starting with a little bit of yellow actually, and adding the green over it. Is this just the plain yellow? I can't remember. Thank you. Darling, are you going to join us? That's too orangey of a yellow. Is this just plain yellow? Nope. You know what? I'll add more water. I feel like starting with a little bit of yellow because there seems to be some yellow highlights in it. And so, yes, you can use that one. I don't really care for those ones as much, but you're welcome to use it. So let's start with this yellow right here.
This one?
Yes. And I'm going to do the entire, I'm going to sort of do the entire, in green, but we're going to start with yellow. Because you see how there's these nice highlights in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Oh, on the side. We're going to do on the side. So go about a quarter, maybe a quarter of the way in, and we're going to just do, I'll move this up. We're going to do a stem, and then we are going to, instead of doing a stem all the way up, I am going to just start on the wheat itself. Well, that does not look that great, but oh well. I did not do that correct at all. This wheat is shorter and more round, and I did not do it that way. So shorter and really kind of bulbous. Darling, are you going to join us? They have points at the edge, or rather at the tip, and I'm really not doing that good of a job. I don't mean to be doing a bad job, I'm just really not being able to do a good job. Okay, I need to go back and fix this.
This isn't looking great.
You know what, since it's yellow, it's going to be the base color for the whole thing anyway. So don't worry about it. I think we're going to get our shape in when we do the green. And I'm kind of adding a little bit too much watercolor. I want to kind of keep it a little bit dry because we need to go over this like very soon with the green.
Yeah, the bottom of mine is starting to dry.
Oh, good.
This high?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do I do now?
Now we're gonna take the green.
Which one?
I did that one first, and then I did this one. I don't know that it matters exactly yet. And I'm starting with just the stem part.
Is this one supposed to be really light?
Yeah, so use the darker one. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to do green on the outside and the top and the bottom of the wheat. Okay, and I'm going to start that way. We'll come back in and add some details to it like this, but I think
there's a thing in the middle, right?
A stem in the middle?
I can do the stem in the middle?
Yeah. Try to make the top pointy.
Okay.
Well, this is proving more difficult than I expected. Again, for such like a simple design, I think I'm going to outline it.
No thanks.
And this one is called bread wheat.
I write it right here at the top.
You know, I think you had it was kind of difficult for you to do it last time. So if you don't want to, you don't have to write it.
I'll just do it. So I do it right here.
Yeah, but you'll need to leave space for your for the.
What color?
I did the lightest.
Wait, it's red wheat. You said.
Excuse me. Bread wheat. B-R-E-A-D.
Do I have to do it like that?
No. Trying to fix my R a little bit. So it looks a little more like an R. Excuse me? I thought you were going to come and join us. We're doing our wheat. Would you like to join?
Okay, I did it too big again.
Do a different
Yes, I
thing.
know.
Can I just draw a random thing?
Yeah. Do you want a new piece of paper?
This is mine. It's fine.
That one's yours. You don't like the top, the...
But B-R... Oh, I did an A.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Wait,
You need some paper towel. Here. Do you want the watercolors?
No.
Could I get something pretty?
What color do you need? Green?
I'm making a person.
Wait, we use W-H-E-A-T.
W-H-E-A-T. It has eat in the word, and we happen to eat wheat.
Oh, I want to do that with mine. Can I have this? Can I have this to do mine?
It's over there in the corner.
I want to do something with outline. I want to do a pretty.
Oops, are you okay? I'm gonna add, excuse me, peeled paint. I'm gonna add a little bit, it's looking like not the right color, so I'm gonna add some peeled paint to have a little bit higher concentration. Ooh, that might be a little bit too high of a concentration, but I feel like it needs it.
There. Can I, when this dries, can I do it?
Oh, beautiful, yeah.
Stand it with it. Sorry.
That's pretty.
Thank you. Okay. How do you spell? Can you spell whatever you need to spell in cursive?
B.
No, can you spell it in cursive?
Oh, you want me to write it? I would like you to write it, just in the letters that you can.
I want to do it in cursive.
Okay, then you'll have to wait. I like the richer green. The green that I'm using just looks a little bit too brown. I guess it's fine because the wheat will eventually turn brown.
Dessert.
Dessert?
B what?
Well, you kind of had dessert for breakfast.
B what?
R. Remember?
Then?
Well, what kind of dessert do you want? R. E.
Chips.
Okay, you can have a few chips.
He barely had any chicken. He even
Oh, you know
have any
what?
chicken.
She is correct. You barely had any chicken.
Yeah, he didn't even have chicken.
You know, we're going to be having dinner.
Well, what else?
No.
Yes, I
For-
haven't had lunch yet.
The lunch was supposed to be chicken and
What else? After
A.
A?
Yeah, A.
Then?
Well, if you're hungry, then I would like you to have food. There's leftover grilled cheese in the refrigerator before you have more chips.
Then?
D.
Then?
That's bread. And then wheat is W. H. E. A. T. Very nice.
Then I want to get some green.
This almost looks like not cauliflower, artichoke. It reminds me of artichoke.
And you suppose that dark green.
The dark green, it's called peeled paint. I'll put some on here. You might want to mix it with just a touch of water. Just a tiny bit of water.
Hey, where? I like when we went to says it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
What's your mom's name? Then can I use that black pen?
Sure, it's right here. It may not write well until your drawing is...
I'll just do this down because it's dry.
Hmm.
Then I'll do the outline.
Excellent.
Wait.
Thank you.
And then I'll do a butterfly. How do you spell butterfly?
B-U. T-T-E-R. And then F-L-Y.
Oops, I did that 3 N's.
Okay, so how about you turn that into another butterfly? Can you?
What does this say?
That says butter, but can you turn that? Can you turn that E into a butterfly, and then you can just write the rest of the word right here.
Okay.
L-Y. Okay. All right, so we are done with this lesson, and we still need to do, oops, did I get that on the back? I didn't. Okay, good. We need to do the writing portion of this lesson, which mine says breadwheat on it.
You can't see it.
It is very light, you are right. I might go over it with a pen or a color pencil, or I might just leave it. All right, so the lesson and the watercolor is done for this lesson, and now my son will write something here because this is like one of the last lessons of the school year. He may not want to write something original, so I may write something here and he may either copy it or I may dictate it to him, because I think at this point in the school year and at this point in the main lesson block, he's just kind of done. So we did the content of the lesson, we've done the drawing of the lesson, the writing portion, which is actually really important and shouldn't be overlooked. At this point, I'm going to help him out a little bit, and I will probably write it, but he's not here. And I don't want to suggest that to him first. I want to suggest that to him if he complains about doing the writing, and that's because he's done so much writing and so many lessons and so much reading for the year that this is a solution when things start to get a little bit more, I don't want to say rigorous, but a little bit tested? No, what's the word that I'm looking for? When things start to get a little bit strained with the lessons or with the main lesson block, I think that helping out the student this way is a good solution, because it maintains the integrity of the lesson, and it keeps the child from getting discouraged and not wanting to continue and potentially just having a negative association with the lesson. So not all lessons are like super fun. There's aspects of the lesson that are more challenging, and I feel like this is a good compromise. All right, so don't forget that you can check out some of the other real-time lessons that I have on my channel. And if you want to see what we're up to on a daily basis, you can find me on Instagram at Pepper and Pine.